yeah, things have changed, and you might just have a case of, well, some positionings just don't work anymore because the Uber can just get on you so fast that you have to go out, and that can change in
Yeah.
small little subtle ways. That just changes everything.
Plus, it's just the dynamic of, between now and even just a few years ago, the difference of like where you're putting your heals, literally the fact that entire teams can be based around beam scouts, go forward, send your soldiers to make space, whatever. It was a very different experience back in season, I think it was something like season 17 or something. Last time this was played properly in Europe. We've seen the odd cup here and there, but it
Yeah,
isn't a great deal of time to kind of work things out for this new era of TF2. So I'm thinking of all the weeks to catch a Feint versus Seven matchup, this is probably going to be one of the best ones because you have Process, which is like it can be a very DM heavy map. It can be a map where you play kind of super scrappy or super strict, depending on what your kind of different team's play style is. So we're going to see like some real clash of raw firepower. And then we get to see metalworks of who's put in the legwork, who's kind of, got that prep nailed down, and who can kind of, come up with some stuff on the fly. I think it's going to be, yeah, I think this is probably one of the best weeks to see these big two face off.
yeah, it is noticeable. I think that it seems like Seven are actually being super active. It might be why they've been looking so dominant, just because they've been scrimming so much compared to everyone else. Like at least Feint, I think they had like I looked on the ELO site, and Feint had like 20 something PC scrims, and then Seven had like 40, right? So they've almost doubled the scrims of a lot of other teams. So that's pretty crazy. That's a lot of activity, and that definitely bodes well for them on a new map, especially one that they might have some knowledge with before. But you never know. It seems like they hadn't figured it out against Ascent, and a lot of people think Feint is better than Ascent. So it is anyone's game. But first up, we do have to go through Process, and Process is the map that everyone knows. It kind of usurped Badlands as the bog standard map that just
Yeah.
every team just knows back ahead. It's the default map that you play in pickups and scrims and everything basically. So we're going to start out with the most standard of standard, and then we're going to jump into the new map.
I think it's going to be really interesting just to see. Obviously, it's the first time they've played this season, and it's the first time we're going to see kind of the new players for each team kind of battle off. Obviously, Salentas has joined onto Seven, replacing, they've kind of shifted things around. Stark's gonna be back on Scout now. Tiger left. Salentas is gonna be roaming. And obviously for Feint, they've also got their new pickup. They have Thomas in the place of Scruff that we saw most recently at Copenhagen Games. So both teams have their core, the same as it's been for kind of season after season after season, but they've got a new player apiece, and it's I feel like the biggest thing for this game is going to be whether Thomas can really be on par with the rest of the scouts in the server. I mean, Thalash and Stark are an insane scout combo. Like, and when you're on a map like this, when scouts can kind of dominate, like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's going to be hard.
it definitely. I do think you've kind of touched on the right thing here, where like the strength of Feint definitely lies in the demo man, their combo, and the two soldiers. Like Gink has gotten so good in my opinion. Like he just goes for big plays all
Definitely.
the time. He gets so much work done, and like it's going to be really important for Seven to actually be able to shut him down, because otherwise they're going to just make things so much more difficult for themselves if they don't manage to just keep constant track of him and make sure they deny him perfectly. And having two good scouts is going to help in that regard. But they're still just Poppy and Gink just gonna be a really fearsome DM duo, and I like Lucas probably has the best DM in Europe right now. He's definitely
Lucas
up
is
there.
crazy. He
Yeah,
can like take over a server when he's on his game. And like as much as Process is known as like the biggest kind of scout centric map, well, scout centric 5 CP, right? We'll ignore Viaduct for a second. Like it's very scout centric, but if Lucas is pounding on mid fights, it makes it so difficult for your scouts to then play high ground. They get forced to the ground, whatever. Then suddenly you're playing with a height disadvantage. The other team can just roll straight over to you. So I think a lot of the mid fights are going to go the way of, is Lucas on his game? In the warps, it looked like he definitely was hitting 400 DPM, getting all kinds of frags and stuff. But this is a very, very different team, and I think, yeah, I think he's going to be a real linchpin for whether they can get momentum early on.
Process is not typically known as a great demo man map. It's kind of open, and like at least on middle you have to charge your stickies a whole bunch. They don't do that much damage. Not like you can't do anything as demo man, but it's not the best demo map, right? It's not like Gully was where you can just completely
No.
shut down a choke if you do it right. So it's going to be interesting to see. Uh, just especially mid and second are not the greatest places for a demo man, but it's not known for being bad either. Like it- just Lucas and Elikor are both known for just completely shut down the choke and just get so many picks because you can peek through them and just rain down stickies and pipes, like kind of blindly lob them over that arch. That it gets really dangerous if you're not careful. And Cadus, he's gonna have to do his absolute best here because he has more experience than anyone, but his DM isn't always up to snuff, and that could definitely get punished here if he just ends up in some sort of 1v1 with Lucas. It could end really poorly for him, but we'll see. Cadus, he hasn't been the most like consistent player, but sometimes he is just absolutely incredible. So hopefully for Se7en, he's just hitting his strides today. But it usually at least seems to me like he kind of needs a bit of warm up to just really get himself going. Like he needs to go a bunch of really good sequences, and then he'll just get into his groove and just be completely unstoppable. But yeah, we'll see. Do you have any inkling as to who's going to win this first map?
I honestly feel like first map being process, I think you've got to favor Se7en. As much as I'd love to favor Feint, it'd be such a great way to start this series if they can take the first map and make Se7en feel uncomfortable, already having lost points, then going into a map they would feel more uncomfortable on. I think it's going to be really, really hard to contest with some of the key players from Se7en. Like, Thalash is kind of crazy on this map. Like, he's crazy in general, but he can take over a game on process. And I think it's going to come down to, can Feint get through like the defense, get through the setup of Se7en? I think it's going to be really, really difficult for them on process. I would give the edge to Se7en. I don't think it's crazy. I think it's like a 70-30, 65-35 split, something to that effect. But I think Se7en have to be the favorites on process.
I agree. I think it's going to be a much better situation for Feint on Metalworks, but on process, I just think it's Se7en. They're so experienced and they have such good scouts. I think they're just going to be able to shut down game really well. It's generally a really bad soldier map, at least in as far as having a good KD and doing a lot of damage goes.
Yes,
like you can definitely fly through chokes and make big plays, right? But if you're not getting that, then you're probably going to have a bad time. And yeah, you'll end up maybe getting some really clutch medic picks and getting a few forces and maybe like getting a really crucial pick here and there. But like in general, soldier is just absolute fodder for scouts on this map, and like there's the best scouts in the game essentially. Both Stark and the last are just complete monsters. But we are live right now, so it's gonna be week 5, and whoever wins, if Se7en wins this, they are just undeniably the huge favorite to just take everything. And if Swift win this, or if Feint win this, they are just entering the conversation for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. So we're starting in this first mid here. No crazy classes, but we are seeing some deep soldier bombs. Both the Feint soldiers going nice and good, getting some good damage towards Raymond. But the counter bombs from Se7en, they were looking good. They forced a lot of these Feint players back, but they didn't get these all-important frags. Now they're taking some scrappy fights. It's going to be 2 scouts versus scout demo along with heals for either team, and I feel like the Halash and Stark, they're going to want to start walking through here. Lucas is going to have to hit some really significant damage here to deny these scouts off this high ground, get at least one kind of pick. It's all comes down, really, can he hit one pipe, one key sticky, and the second Tomas cleans up, suddenly they can fight again. But it's going to be hard. These 7 spawners, they're coming in. You see how quickly these soldiers get back into the fight. Oh, this is like the longest mid-fight. It just keeps going on and on and on. The first team that's going to lose a frag is maybe even just going to be losing the entire mid. It's so much damage on these 7 players, but no one's really doing anything. Does look like Silentes is going to be the frag here. Kadaso, a little bit overextended towards point. He should get focused down, but he's somehow not actually dying. Uber does get used by Raymond much, much earlier. Seeds so
really crucial there. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, Cadus being basically the tip of the spear there definitely hurt Se7en a whole bunch there. So they had to force, and then they didn't get the counter force. That's really huge. But yeah, that was a very long mid. That could have gone either way. I liked Se7en's decision to fight it. 2 scouts versus a demo and a scout. That seems like pretty good odds to me, and they did a good job of splitting up, not taking the same damage. But now it's going to be a full Uber advantage barreling down Se7en's throat right now. And they're going to try their best to just spam this out and make it as slow and painful as possible for Feint to make use of it.
Yeah, it's already pretty painful. We've already seen Seeds have to walk back, taking a lot of damage. He takes more damage. He's actually getting super weak towards his choke point. They did lose Lucas there, losing your demo, and even now having to use this Uber towards point. Se7en is absolutely scattering. No one here is going to get caught out whatsoever. No real chance. Even Starkey picking up Gink. This actually opens it for just a dry push here from Se7en. Yeah, we see Classy get absolutely mulched on point. No cap on second at all. And the rest of Se7en just charging through this choke point. My god, Pappy, get out the server. He's getting melted by the scout combo power. They can't even look into mid here now. We see this huge Uber advantage. They should be able to even start walking through the second here. Feint, they've got to be just a little bit scared here. We see them playing towards rollout.
Yeah, Se7en need to be really fast though. They don't have that much of an Uber advantage. It's very difficult to use it right here. There's a lot of distance they have to cover. They might get this soldier pick. Gink, he's behind lines. He's basically going to be just chased down here, but yeah, it looks like the rest of Feint, they're just so passive. They don't want to risk it here. And I think if they had been a little bit more brave, they actually could have just delayed the entire Se7en push right now, but they decide to play it safe. Go back to last. It's going to be an even Uber setup right now. We do see the heavy going up. There's a sniper on last as well. Sorta goes in onto the medic though. Oh, gets the force on Siege. Se7en was like a millisecond away from getting the drop there, but a great bomb in there from him.
Yeah, really nice getting that force. So clean. We saw just enough support from Se7en to kind of, you know, back him up, and then the second he was in, they're like, right boys, we're out. Okay, we're maintaining this Uber advantage. So this will be Se7en's opportunity to put the first round onto the board. We are seeing a defensive sniper on the side of Thomas. It's possible he might be able to hit something from this right side. Oh, Thalash's getting dropped on the way in. This is not looking good for Se7en at all. They managed to take down this gun, but they can't really get any further towards lobby. Crucial stickies from Lucas, and actually single-handedly prevents Se7en's push there.
They just completely abandoned the push as soon as Thalas went down there. It's that was a really clutch sticky trap there, and that just goes to show that you need to just try to flash people really proactively as a medic. And if you just lapse on that for like half a second, you can end really poorly for you. They're actually going to try and go out here with this Uber advantage. Starkey's going to make his way behind though. He's on last. He has been picked out, but he wins the scout duel, but eventually just trades. And the Uber has been popped and choke here as well, but Raymond, he's way out of there.
Yeah, we did see some scrappy fights there, but Se7en, completely aware of the situation, didn't want to allow anything too bad to happen. You know, they'll lose control a second, but it can basically be a leapfrog situation, as they are just coming up with their Uber now. Rest of Feint are going to be really far back towards rollout. We can't even actually see any of their soldiers in a position to really do anything, so this should be nice and free from Se7en, and they're actually not going to care about second at all. Their spawners can start dealing with that. One of their soldiers maybe. They can look to keep moving through onto last. Taking down Gink's going to make this a little bit easier, but they got to start moving now. I mean, I feel like they maybe realize they've been just a little bit too slow.
Yeah, Sentry's going
but
up.
No, they're jumping in anyway. Oh, Seed's so close to getting his Uber. He's going to be rotating through. Yep, Uber's out now. This could be an absolute mulch for Feint if they can just start pushing themselves forward. So much damage, but Pappy actually manages to dive towards one. This is a bit of a disaster, but Uber. We even see Captain directly behind their combo walking in. Thankfully, these crazy rockets coming down to a super scrappy little fight here. It's actually complete mulching from Thomas. What was that, 4 frags there? The Putis main. He's doing it.
Yeah, that was 3, but really, probably the most important part was that Seeds actually ended up dying. It was a bit unfortunate that Pappy went forward like that. I think he thought he had the beam on him, but Seeds was trying to heal other people, so it just ended up with Pappy just standing like point blank against 4 Se7en players, and he was not invincible. Like, if he had just gotten a flash there, that would have been the greatest Uber ever, but as it was, he just kind of exploded on himself. So now Ubers have actually equalized. We've gotten out of the seesaw situation where both teams got Ubers at the different rates, and now this is going to be a suicide situation right now. See if they can force Ubers out of each other. No Ubers in sight right now, but you know, it's going to happen eventually right now. So far, both teams have really struggled to make their Ubers work. They're just they're getting spammed out so hard, and actually a sticky trap and choke that I think was hidden on the lamp that Se7en hadn't spotted. That actually did a lot of work, but Cadus will pick off Thomas.
Pipes from Lucas actually just mulching Cadus, so okay. The second they lose one, they take down a Della man, all important in denying this choke point. Se7en's going to be backing up towards point here. And Feint want to start trying to take things for free. Looks like Se7en will be looking to try and take a trade on point. The deep bomb from Gink's going to be really nice, forcing off this Uber nice and easy, and the rest of Feint backing up through the choke point. Really good control out of that situation there, and really good. They took just enough space to get through that choke point, get Gink in, and then, right, they're gone. Full Uber advantage, that's how we're going to play it. Nice and clean.
Yeah, very aggressive pushing there. A lot of teams would not dare do that, but Feint, they're not showing Se7en that much respect. Like they're just playing their own game and just making sure that they're being aggressive when it makes sense. Starkey has actually made his way behind. That's going to be a thorn in the side of Feint here, but they're going to continue to power forward. I don't know if they know about Starkey just yet, but here comes Uber, and then Lucas, he jumps in, he tries to catch them out. He actually gets Raymond! Wow.
Oh, that's so sick from Lucas. That pipe, so important, taking down Raymond. This Stark on the backline shouldn't really matter. Now we see the 7 players. They don't want to give this up now. They know their medic's there. They need to just start trying to charge forward towards point. They're getting a lot of frags, but it comes down to a 2v2. They do pick up Classy. There's only Lucas all by himself now, so doesn't look like he will be able to contest. That was so nice, but they just kind of let that get away from them at the end there. Feint.
Yeah, Stark actually came in with the perfectly timed flank and just picked off the soldier and the medic there, and that just really did a number on them. Like, I thought Lucas was too late. I didn't think he was going to get anything. Actually, his scout's going to get caught out here. Oh no, and Raymond just walks into a rocket right there. So now Feint, I think they're just going to slow play it, and they're going to be in a good position to just hold the second.
What is Cadus doing? He just jumped completely behind the whole combo. Hit 2 pipes towards Lucas. Okay, I mean, he'll trade. I guess didn't get anything else. Maybe he's bought just enough space for Se7en to get control of second, but I mean, it's hard to fight without heals here. Yeah, Captain's basically already dead. He's, you know, not really going to do anything about these 2 185 scouts as long as they can find him.
Hide, Captain! Oh, they found him. I think he was just like screaming for an arrow or something, but yeah, no, that was not happening. That was like a horror movie, right? Where you're just like hiding in the corner waiting for the monster to find you.
Please, someone save me, someone! No, not happening, right. Captain's dead, big old Uber advantage for Seeds, walking through again, as per. It's going to be 1 soldier jumping in, nice rock from Se7en. These directs are so good there. Just for actually not hitting that shot. Maybe you could have left Seeds being, not having to really use there, but Uber will get used once again. We're in a position where Se7en can start to recontest the second they get the Uber about 20% away. I mean, it's really back and forth. We're already 10 minutes into this game, 0-0, and both teams are feeling really equal for me.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pushing, but no capping last just yet. The Ubers haven't been too clean so far, and that's definitely been an issue right now. Se7en, they're making their way in really deep right now, and they haven't really been forced out. Poppy's been spotted. I think he's gonna be not long for this one. Yeah, he goes down, and so I think they give up mid for an Uber advantage, basically. So he's gonna have his Uber right now in second, and Se7en, they will have the midpoint.
Yeah, they will. They're still peeking towards grass. We're in the same kind of situation we saw just a few moments ago where their Uber advantage has turned basically into nothing now. I would imagine they've got to be aware of this situation, but even still, Cadus is getting pretty far forward away from the team. Oh my god, so Seeds is going to use here, but 2 players from Se7en. Cadus does go down along with Se7en, so an Uber trade for 2 players is definitely not bad at all, and they can flood through the choke point here. Raymond, if he has to use here while these players are still down, it's going to be so hard for them to do anything. And even Stark might have to get caught here. Yeah, really good cleanup from Feint.
Absolutely, and like it was just a bit too long of a respawn there, because Se7en, they definitely could have used the Uber to contest middle and make sure that the respawners would have come in, but the respawners were just a bit slow, so they decided not to go for it. But now Se7en, they're going to come back in here. They want it back. They've got all the respawners in. And I think they're just going to try their best not to get forced. But they do get forced. Classy makes his way in, finds the medic, and he will get Raymond to pop. And the rest of Feint, they're out. But they lose 3 players, though.
It does look like these force attempts for Feint, they're working surprisingly well. Much better than we've seen a lot of teams play against Se7en. But, I mean, they're not going to keep control of the second. We are in a position where they can maybe look to leapfrog because they do have their spawners once again. This is Uber advantage. Their spawners are in. They're already using this deep bomb from Lucas. Oh. Absolutely crushing Raymond and Thalash. Exactly everything you need. Lucas already tanking, but Se7en is on the back lines.
They definitely know. He finds the scout, and the scout finds him. So Se7en is now super wounded. The scout is getting healed up, and there we go. Se7en has gone down as well. But that bomb and choke is just so scary. Like, they just popped preemptively there, just hoping that Raymond would be a little bit too far in, and the gamble paid off. And, you know, it's good decision making, arguably, but also it's just you need to have the mechanical skill to use it as well. So now they're going to make their way into Se7en. They're playing it really passively in choke. I think they're just hoping for like a sticky trap kill or something. You know, they don't want to give it up for free completely. At least they want to give up the appearance that it's not for free. But it's going to be just a really simple push in here. And now they have the small advantage. Stark is on Sniper, though. So they have to be careful. I don't think they know about it yet, though.
No, it does look like they're going to try and just run all the way through rollout. Tomas taking a big boy Uber all by himself. He's going to be running all the way through to 1. Raymond has no idea, just about gets his Uber in time. My god, he could have so easily died there. And now it's going to be Se7en's turn to try and recontest. So Uber's starting to fade though, and Raymond's still weak. It's really hard, especially with all these players down. And if Cadus loses his life here, which is getting super weak, this is... Oh, this is an
Raymond has gone down, but
collapse,
so
really.
has Seeds.
How? How is this even happening? How does Se7en manage to claw that back? And now everyone's taking 1v1s. We see Gink and Captain just battling towards point. Half of Se7en seems to be somehow on mid now.
This is one of the most scattered fights. And you can just see Poppy right now. He's just like challenging Silentis to an MG duel. He was like, nah, I'm just going to call my scout buddy. And we're going to take care of it together. You think like eventually he's going to get taken down somehow? Oh my god, Poppy's still alive!
That's insane! How does he do that? He is the smoothest criminal in the game, and now they pick up Se7en as well. Literally, that could have been like an equal or player disadvantage situation, whatever. Now they've got 2-player advantage. Soldiers jumping in, Happy using his life well, taking all this position and buying second, almost single-handedly for his team there. And even with some of these players missing, he's... Okay, I thought he was going to take down Captain, but it will at least be a trade here. They're just giving Se7en no kind of in. Yeah, it looks like they will.
It feels like that's what they want to do. Like the Ubers are even. It's actually in favor of Se7en right now. So I don't think they are going to go. But it definitely felt like Feint would just go like, oh man, this is going so great. Let's just keep on going. But they're going to take a deep breath and just hold it back. Stocky's going to try and see if he can make his way in onto a soldier there. But he gets spammed out and will retreat. So now Ubers have equalized right now. Last time around we saw Se7en just send in Silentis and get the Uber Force out really quickly. So let's see if Feint can just copy that move. That would be real nice for them. But Raymond is in quite a different position, and there is a sentry gun going up in the middle. Se7en, they really like their very like aggressive positioning on the sentry guns.
Yeah.
And then often they'll have a pyro and like a dispenser with it as well. No pyro so far, but it is a very aggressive sentry that mainly there to just deny entrance, or easy entrance at least, for anyone looking to like a suicide onto the medic.
Exactly, this kind of hold, it's so difficult to try and get towards Raymond, but they are managing, Feint are pressuring these doorways really well. You're seeing how Captain is not able to play too close even towards the doorway. He has to play just a little bit further back, and it does buy just a little bit more space for someone to try and peek. I'm not sure whether maybe they're just going to try and take down his gun a little bit. We do see both soldiers move towards this right, but Gink can't quite get the angle, so it'll be Feint moving out towards second now, keeping some control over the situation and possibly just looking to get Gink up on and off pass. We've seen him snipe, we've seen him spy, we've kind of seen him do a little bit of everything really. He's kind of the Stark of Feint.
Someone opened the door for him there, but I think he just missed a shot onto Lucas, and Lucas was pretty buffed either way, so it was a low percentage play. But yeah, for last, I think he's just gonna try and see if he can get a shot onto a soldier, but no, he gets spammed out as well. So Se7en, they don't really go for a big counter sack or anything. They just did a slight play with a sniper right there, and for last, just gonna basically stick and spawn and just hope to snipe someone off if they look in through a door. But at this point, the question really just is, how does Ascent, or Feint, try to actually break this sentry gun positioning? It looks like they're trying to focus on the right side right now, because that is just covered by a single soldier on this crate. And you know, if you can just get him down, then you have quite a lot of space where the sentry is not looking. But looks like the soldier that was holding that did a good enough job to just deter them, and they didn't commit a scout either. So Poppy's gonna just take a look in there, and he will find a bullet in his brain. And now we might see a counter sack coming out here from Se7en.
Quite possibly, yeah. We see them immediately take their heels towards a lobby, get some spam from Cadus, but someone else is going to have to be the one really peeking forward, trying to make something happen. But it just doesn't seem like they're too keen on going massively aggressive. They did manage to take lobby, and you see Thalash towards his pipe position, so he can see anything in terms of, you know, if Pappy was to off-class, or, you know, someone else was to spawn on a different class, he would see them cross a lot of the time. You know, anyone taking some peeks, he gets a little bit of info, but ultimately Se7en, they don't seem keen to make anything happen too much just yet. You know, they're not feeling the pressure of the clock or the pressure of this game at all. They're just going to keep on rotating around and feeling things. And in all of this, we have had Classy go back to spawn and pick up the sniper rifle himself. So this is the big Thalash versus a Classy sniper duel, as it looks like Feint, they're going to just start healing up and maybe just move towards lobby now, get some position for their sniper.
Indeed, there's a lot of places that a sniper can go. I think they might have spotted him. I definitely saw some rockets go towards Classy right there. I suspect that they know, and also Falas was checking with Spy and Spawn. He probably figured it out, and then he went right back onto Sniper, and see, they're both just really buff. And, you know, that's what you want to do when you have a big sniper duel. Just keep your sniper more buff than theirs. Just to hope you can out-angle him and surprise him and get the nice pick onto him. Obviously, the sniper isn't the ultimate prize, but you do need a pick somewhere in order to kind of make some space in order to open the door to get a more important pick. Or maybe just get a push going. So right now they're just they've taken lobby, and now they're just hoping to sticky off all the entrances. If you get a sniper close enough, you can just make it so that you can win the corner fight, basically, because you can peek the corner closer than they can, because if they peek the corner, then they can get headshot. That happens to a lot of demos a lot of the time, where they will just like try to put up some stickies and then they'll get headshot, and then all of a sudden you have a lot of space to work with. But Captain, actually, he's going to take a shot, barely survive with like 1 HP or something. So close. So Swift, Feint, they're just slowly working the way, and they're not really overcommitting or anything, but they are making some very subtle plays here and there. But no really great
Nothing too crazy,
results.
just
Yeah.
you know. I feel like from Feint's point of view, if they can keep pressuring Captain, if they can maybe take him down, they'll have a golden opportunity of a few seconds to start working towards one and roller, and that could be a really, really powerful position as a sniper. It is actually where they start moving right now, both dots either side of the wall from each other, but Classy's going to be the one peeking deep, but he's going to be taken down here. And a lot of damage being dealt to Lucas means Feint have no choice. They've got her back to second. At least now with a sniper, it makes things even more difficult in terms of anyone, you know, trying to jump deep or, you know. It's 7. We're not going to see a random, like, drive push or whatever, but I feel like after a certain point, they're going to have to try, I mean, something?
Nah, I
see it's 7,
disagree.
you know, they might just go for, like, a round reset. I don't know.
Yeah, that seems like a much better, right? Like, because if 7 does nothing, they will gain 2 points. So that's a pretty good result. So they don't need to do anything here. The pressure is pretty much on Feint to do this. It wouldn't be the end of the world, obviously. Like, they already won one mid fight, but it would be nice to get a round out of this instead of a round reset. And 7, they've definitely shown that they're not going to do too much. I feel like at some point Feint should probably start taking some bigger risks. Captain again takes a headshot, and then a spam rocket from Ging will take him down. So now that's what I was talking about. Now they can make some more space. There is still this sentry gun that's being a nuisance. They're trying to spam it down, and unfortunately, Falas will win the sniper duel there. Well, not the sniper duel, but he will get Poppy as well. So things have normalized, but at some point, I feel like Feint, they should just try and go for some maybe exchanges or stuff, because usually when the medic, like the medic is usually playing really close. Like he'll be sitting in the dispenser basically, right? And that just means if you Uber, you just walk around the corner and shoot him once, and he has to Uber.
Peter, I got a prediction. Suggestion, one of those things. They send in a guy, he dies, this is Feint. Send in a guy, it dies, let Lucas bomb in. Literally get a heavy stand on point, let Lucas bomb in. Lucas can just nuke. We've seen it happen a million times before. Doesn't feel like they can do much towards lobby. I genuinely feel like a demo bomb at this point. Why not? 2 minutes 40 left to go. They're kind of not really getting anything towards these doorways. The sniper's just getting too kind of hard shut down. Two players go down on Feint, so this is going to be pretty difficult now. We do see Thalash going deep towards rollout. Cadus as well, spamming quite a lot towards 1. It does look like the rest of Feint. Oh, the deep bomb! Nice, clean, easy force. And even getting some decent damage towards Pappy, so they've got to heal up and play with this massive uber disadvantage now. 7 do have an opportunity to push, but it's 2 minutes. Are they just going to stand around? It looks like they are going to be moving towards lobby. They're not quite as complacent. They're not quite happy enough just to stand around, but Raymond's taking a lot of damage. Both these soldiers firing so much, he's actually just used all by himself. He finally manages to catch a hold of a scout, but everyone from Feint, minus Classy, that is. Wait, Ging goes down? How do they possibly get 2 there?
I think they lost one on both flanks, basically both PC and sewers. They both lost one there. 7, they're going to go in there. There are some stickies and choke, but they hit nothing. So 7, they're looking like they're going to be able to just pressure their way into this midpoint and take that out. So who needs a round reset here? But Feint, they actually have the uber advantage. They need some respawners, but yeah, I think they're just going to go in now.
Oh, it's the PC Uber, but absolutely no one's caught. It's only really Silentes. We have Captain on the back lines. He'll get cleaned up at least. Se7en is going to make things just a little bit more annoying by playing behind, but he somehow manages to pick up Classy. That's so sick. Thankfully, he's going to get 2v1'd. I mean, surely there's no way he gets anything more, right? Okay.
Round
For
one.
a second there, Pappy, you know, he got pretty weak, but it doesn't quite
Raven
happen.
pops on 7 HP though. Jesus. Yeah, he was definitely in a position there where he had to fight. And now it's a 4-4 and just barely better spawns on 7 now. They actually managed to deny the spawns from Fate just barely now. And this is going to be probably a better fight for 7. But who knows?
Oh, I don't know. This damage being dealt towards the choke is pretty good, but no one was really there to follow up. That was just some mad damage, but they were pretty distracted, the rest of 7, and now there's someone behind. Thomas is just being so annoying for the rest of 7. He will get cleaned up now, so okay, there is an opportunity. This is uber advantage once again for Feint, but I don't know, they're like a player down. I think they're a little bit flustered. They don't really know what's going on. They just need a second just to reset. But this is the perfect time for 7 to start peeking towards choke once again. It's so difficult, right? The spawners are just up. Do you go now if you're Feint? I mean, it's 25%. I feel like they've just got to chill just a moment, right? Like, you know, it's just play as if it's an equal Uber situation. You've still got about 6.5 minutes left in the game. I feel like the way that either team starts losing this game is to kind of let things get a bit away from them, you know? Kind of, you know, go too heavily into this trade here, back and forth, take every scrappy fight, whatever, you know? Just, they're going to chill a second, going back to just a little bit of a stalemate.
Both teams so far have been pretty good at forcing the enemy medic. And like Se7en especially has been extremely good at just zooming his way in there with maximum velocity and just getting some really nice rockets onto seats, forcing him out. I don't think we've had a drop so far, and just yeah, both medics they know they have to pop, otherwise they're just gonna get hit by these soldiers. They're just so good. But like right now, it's just 7 peeking this choke, not really doing too much, not committing too much. But I have a feeling that they're trying to buff up their soldiers as we speak and trying to send them in somewhere to maybe make a play. You very often see the double soldier bomb where we send in the first soldier, he's the big distraction. He will just kind of zoom off, and then the second soldier will come in, and hopefully the enemy team expended some of their ammo trying to deal with the first one. But you know, that has just become so meta now that they don't really waste rockets on the first one. But maybe that's just a big fake, and that first soldier is the main target. Who knows?
It's the double bluff, you know? It's the big brain. It's the 400 IQ, 4D chest. They don't care. For the time being, they're just peeking more on this choke. Okay, decent damage has been dealt. It might be the 7 is looking to maybe take a bit of control on grass, because if you see where Seeds is playing, it's all the way back towards point, so it's actually not even like Lucas can do too much from here. Oh, we see the deep bomb now. Se7en is in, going super high. Not really hitting any significant damage, though, towards Seeds. They were so aware. Nothing really he could do, so 7 will be backing up just a little bit. Still close enough to the choke point to trade, but Raymond is acutely aware that just one little mistake at this point, with 5 minutes to go, might put his team in a super dodgy situation. Feint are getting a lot of space towards this choke point, but aren't quite certain it seems exactly what they want to do. Pappy's just kind of peeking and prodding, and they don't actually go for anything while they have this player advantage, so maybe they have some kind of bigger play in mind, I'm not sure.
Seems like they just wanted to go for a simple play, and Feint just couldn't find the opening to go for the counter sack. So as it is, we're just kind of stuck here. At this point, I almost expect someone to just run back and go sniper, because if things are standing this still...
oh, we have the soldier in once again. One rocket towards Seeds. He goes straight up, but no air shot is hit this day. So Se7en is taken down once again. 5 players on 7. Feint, they're going to start feeling the pressure of the clock. 4 minutes left to go. Winning this in regulation time would be super nice, and they're just getting a little bit more aggressive towards the choke point this time. So Happy still towards Sura. There might be something. The flank aggression looking pretty good for Feint, but he can't really do anything there. 7 just kind of has this too much on lockdown, and once again they managed to delay Feint just long enough to get their spawner Se7en back up, and 6v6 equal Uber still ongoing. Feint, they can't really get any avenue in.
Okay, here's a thought. What if they're
just give it to me?
What if they're just going for the tie, because nobody has been able to touch 7, right? If you manage to tie 7, you've taken point from them. You just ruined their perfect season. Maybe you're just that petty. Maybe that's just all you want.
I mean, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, once again, Soldiers in, getting 1 rocket, a second little rocket for Seeds. He's dodging so much. Each of those rockets doing about 30 damage, basically. You know, just nothing but a scratch to Seeds. He doesn't care at all. He's not using that, whatever. So, one more opportunity goes the way of Feint. The flank pushing up nice and far forward. Choke. There's so much spaces for so many players, but Pappy's just not feeling confident he can jump through. He knows he's respecting the scout combo of Se7en, Stark, and Thalish. It's almost impossible to get through those lines. You need something a little bit more to go with. So, I mean, maybe you're right, Peter. Maybe they are just playing for the draw here. It's 2 minutes 30 left on the clock. They're on their own second. But you got to start thinking. Se7en is having a much easier time getting in. You know, one little force here is going to be all that it takes, and suddenly there'll be a round disadvantage with basically no time left to play in.
Indeed, Starkey looks like he has actually taken the hint here, and he has gone spy. So will Feint be able to sniff this out? I don't think it's something you would really expect in this situation. And Starkey, he is all the way in here right now, and like sees he's pretty good at looking behind him. So I don't know if that means he's expecting it, or if he's just like that's just ingrained in him to look behind him at all times. You know, I think he does play some Highlander.
Oh, Starkey's in, Starkey's spotted, Starkey's dead. Okay, that is the triplet right there. No chance at all. Looks like Feint are aware of actually everything. Okay, so this time actually a little bit easier. There's one scout missing on the side of Se7en, so a little bit easier to get to the choke point. The damage towards Cadis is good as well. So their combo,
they get it
so far back, and the force is so good. Even we have this scout of Feints all the way on the backlines now. He's even dragging just a couple players back, and Feint have such an opportunity now. The damage is still decent. Some of these Se7en players are still going to have to heal up, but doesn't look super clean for Feint trying to walk through. At a certain point, they're just going to have to, I think, commit here. They picked up Salentes. They're still desperately trying to not use here. It's looking really nice, and if they can get this for free, this could be almost everything they're going for. They're
Sword against
the captain. Oh, it's so good. The dodging from Seeds is so good. But Stark is still on the back lines. I don't think anyone has any idea at all. This is... No, okay. People are looking. They do know. But this is just kind of... This is slow from the side of Feint. It's 1 minute left to go. They've got this uber advantage. It's only about 30% left now. And they're so scared of Stark. There's no one from either team on second at all. They've got to start moving here, boys. It's 50 seconds. They just need to start full committing.
Yeah, they even had the uber advantage here, but I don't think they have a big enough advantage to actually move on. But they're just going to have to move in here. This is going to be one last push to just end it all. Maybe just the Viper. Starkey has actually gone down, so that's good. Now this push, this is going to end it all.
Yeah, this is all or nothing. Lucas tries to jump behind, but with no Uber on him at all. He's getting taken down nice and easy now. This is a 5v5. There's Heavy from Thalish doing good work with his right-hand side. Some damage from the rest of these Feint players, but the heals and the health is just so much more on the side of Se7en right now, and it looks like the rest of Feint is getting cleaned up. So, with 16 seconds left in this game, that is going to be a GG 0-0 on this first map, and we're going to see ourselves a golden cap as Se7en lose points for the first time this season.
Indeed, like if that was Feint's hopes, then yeah, so far they've lived up to it. Like they got that out of it. Se7en is wounded. They have been unable to actually break the last defenses of Feint. Feint did a good job. They were actually the ones pushing last, and if they had just been a bit faster, they could have had an uber advantage in there as well. So, you know, they're playing really well so far, and they have also won a mid-fight, the only one in the game. It was like a double mid-fight. It was like a Hobbit mid-fight, like second mid-fight, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was worth it. They
bodes
knew.
well.
They knew that we wasn't going to get a second mid-fight, so they kind of gave us like 2 and 1, you know? They're doing it for the audience. You got to shout out that, you know?
Absolutely. And of course, the rules of this golden cap is it's 15 minutes, and whoever caps first wins, like caps last wins, or whoever holds middle at the end of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's there will be a winner of this map, and they both earned 1 point so far, and the winner of this golden cap will get 1 more point.
So yes, it's definitely a very different golden cap setup to previous seasons, but it's been the way for LANs for at least kind of a couple years now. It's it definitely kind of makes map control so much more important, because realistically, you know, if 10 minutes go by, you're on like the enemy's second, and it's just an equilibrium situation, you can basically just sit there forever, because, you know, you can afford to play that little bit slower and be like, okay, you physically have to push into us. It also makes round resets really significant, because, you know, if you can sit there forever, get a round reset, and then win a mid fight, that's it. That will be the entirety of the golden cap. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like after a game is back and forth, and it's kind of, you know, there was some really good momentum pushes there, but neither team could find what they needed to kind of actually secure a round. I think it's really hard to predict what's going to happen here. I was, you know, I don't know whether I suspected that there would be less from Feint or more from Seven. I feel like right now, Feint is playing really, really well, and Seven, they're not really on their game. They're not really taking full control of situations. They're managing to keep some decent stamina, they're managing to get some more forces, but what they do after that isn't looking good at all. Whereas Feint, when they make a force play, when they get something secured, they'll be much more able to deal with the kind of work with the advantage. I'm probably not making sense at this point, but you know,
It's been very similar for both teams. Like they just haven't been able to really get in there and use the advantages very well,
yeah,
basically, right? Like they've been really good at like coaxing the enemy medic to use Uber in a bad situation, and then like retreat out. But then after that, they like both teams are doing that well, so we just kind of end up in this situation where we have a lot of pushing happening, we have a lot of Uber forces happening, and then we just have like no deciding factor coming in, like because people just
yeah,
kind of slowly bleed out, so to speak. So it's been a pretty interesting game despite it being 0-0. It's been also a lot faster paced than you'd think because there has been a lot of pushing, there has been a lot of back and forth going on, and like this can be completely anyone's game. Like sometimes TF2 can be pretty fickle where like just randomly like Ging is gonna jump in there and he gets like a lucky 4K, right? And they just completely wipe seven, have a huge Uber advantage, and just run into last and win easily, right? That can happen on both teams.
yeah.
That will just sometimes happen, but we could also just be settling in for like a triple mid, where everyone just comes in respawning after a while, and then it could could go on forever, or at least for a really long time. But
Well, I think we're going to find out pretty soon as we're getting into this golden cap now. This is, once again, Seven versus Fate. This is our week 5 game of ETF2L season 33. We do see some spy checking in spawns. Always nice to see. Everyone knows exactly the off-class situation now. No real off-classes on either team, playing nice and cookie cutter. Lucas taking a slightly more aggressive position, getting the first tag towards Kada, so pretty good here. Gets that initial bit of damage with the deep bombs from the 7 soldiers. They're looking really good. They managed to catch Lucas just a little bit to the side, but they don't get the damage, and they get cleaned up super nicely by these players on Feint. This is really, really crushing. Even Thalash going down there, but the momentum is looking so good for Feint. They can afford to just keep on going forward. Starkey on the backlines, but Feint is completely aware. They have his number, and Raymond running all the way back to spawn with Cadus. He doesn't actually have his Uber up yet. And Feint, they're even starting to move just this little bit towards Lobby. They don't have control a second yet, but they're going to start moving Pappy in. But
oh no, Raymond!
Roll out! Oh, the stickies from Lucas, perfectly timed along with Pappy, takes down Raymond. Huge Uber advantage from Feint, and this is absolutely everything that they need to secure this. They just need a second longer.
There's a scout behind. Oh, Starkey, he's not going to be able to find the medic, is he? Oh, he actually does find the medic, but he gets forced. He gets the force out. So Lucas, he's just going to jump in here, take down the assembly gun immediately. Sort of gets popped up into the air. They need to get all these kills right now. There's stickies on the point, but they need to just even put time on the point to just kill everyone. The heavy is still up. It's looking like it might not work out for Feint though. Scout on the point. Scout still on the point. Heavy has gone down. This is so close, eepily.
This is so crazy, but it looks like Feint are managing to just about get on the point. Raven's definitely trying to, so he gets one, but he steps off the point, and Feint just cap it.
Feint have done it. They've beaten Seven in a map, fair and square. 1-0, including the overtime. But that was a very quick, after both teams struggling a whole lot, just catching out that medic in the top area. Poppy making his way in, just teaming up with Lucas there, just catching out the medic in the rollout area.
That was so good. That was so coordinated from the Feint players. That was absolutely perfect. Like Pappy's, wrap play onto rollout was already good, right? But he would not have secured that frag by himself. He got taken down far too quickly. Lucas peeking the perfect time of that sticky. It was like absolute textbook. They read the situation perfectly, and they deserve that round win. Absolutely 100%. And what a position now to go into map 2, going straight to Metalworks now. Already you've got 2 points in the bag, and Seven are not feeling comfortable.
Absolutely not. It's gotta be a bit of a hit to your pride as well, because you've been looking so dominant, and then all of a sudden these newfangled Feint players come in here, right? Like, just on paper they're a much weaker team, but paper just sometimes lie, right? But
Yeah.
do you want to take a look at some logs? I'm thinking just from the regular game,
Yeah.
not so much
Yeah.
from the golden cap here.
Yeah,
But
let's have a Let's have a little look, see what happened. I mean, obviously, it was a 0-0, so there's going to be a lot of kind of spamming back and forth. There are some pretty low damage numbers, but it is what you'd expect. I think significant players on the side of Se7en, Thalash, 21 for 4, right? He plays a very pockety pocket scout. He loves his heals. He loves running forward once the beam's connected, getting the frags. I mean, he managed to secure a lot, but ultimately, most of that really is it was just going to be on some of these players from Feint kind of slightly overextending or going in for sack plays and whatever. He gets the easy frags. We see the damage coming out from Lucas. He had his all important bomb creating some big advantages, but other than those two players, it does seem pretty equal all around. I don't see anything kind of too crazy out there. Obviously, some of the soldiers having some rough games, but I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes you just got to sack.
in, all right.
You just got to jump in. You just got to jump in and die. It is what it is.
Yeah, like both Gink and actually Slenders has surprisingly good for like a captain and Gink. Yeah, like Gink going 4 for 15. It's
Soldier class, soldier class. It is what it is.
it happens on process. You fly in through choke, you look awesome, you die. If you're lucky, you got like an Uber force in there. Right? It just looks bad in the logs. The medic gets an Uber in the logs, and you get a death. It just looks bad, even though you did the right thing. It happens, all right. Leave them alone. Stop giving them shit in chat. I can feel it.
Don't bully.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, other than like the obvious, we're seeing some things like, I mean, Fate did have a couple more Ubers, but like we said, it didn't really feel like it came down like an Uber game. It was more kind of, neither teams managed to find a great deal of success with it. So, they had a couple more opportunities. But, it is what it is. Ultimately, it came down to the fact that both these teams were super, super equal. They were locking horns the entire game, but they couldn't really find it in. And then, exactly like you said, it came down to just a dominant mid for Swift. Not Swift. Fate, I'm sorry,
Yeah, I've been
all
doing
these
that
teams,
the
whenever they
entire
change their
time
names,
as well.
They change their names, it gets in your head. Right, sorry, for Fate. It comes down to one dominant mid, an excellent play towards last, and just, that one cap, it was all that they need. I will give an honorary shout out to the fact that Lucas apparently got 715 DPM in the golden cap. I mean, he had his big Uber nuke, right? And his like damage on mid. So, I don't think he would have sustained that if it was a 30-minute game, but maybe. I mean, it's Lucas.
I mean, normally I would say no, he wouldn't, but yeah, sure. Fine. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. He would have
Yeah.
he would have had definitely 700 DPM.
I think so.
Yeah, that just seems reasonable when it comes to Lucas. But speaking of 700 DPM, do you think that's what we're going to see on him here from Metalworks? Because Metalworks is a pretty good demo map, whereas like Process, not that great really, like pretty open. But man, Lucas, he has some really sneaky traps, and this map has like so many corridors in them, and there's like
Yeah.
these nooks and crannies in the ceiling. Like, you don't understand how many places there can be a sticky trap when you're just like running through the main corridor, all right, from like middle to second. Like every single nook and cranny in the ceiling, there could be a sticky trap and you can drop, and there's like things through the sides and pillars and crates and like weird little ceilings and pipes, and it's just hell to try to figure
You
out where all
physically
the sticky
can't
traps are.
check every doorway as you go through.
No.
Otherwise, you'll spend 90% of your life just like staring at walls, Like, it's such a crazy map in terms of controlling doorways for demos, just because there are so many of them. I think in terms of mid, it's a really interesting mid when it comes to speed, because if you can get to mid significantly faster than the opposing demo, there's two distinct doorways. There's a lower doorway and the top right doorway. Either one kind of demos will tend to roll out on, but if you can be faster, you can actually sticky both doorways, get some early damage, or at least deny them from going through, get the rest of your team just a little bit more unspammed time to get up towards point. And then I really feel like if you have to play quite far back as a demo on this mid, it's really hard. But if you can start moving forward, take some position, get on the point, you can absolutely destroy, force the entire team out almost single-handedly, and then, basically like secure the mid purely based on positioning. I think if Lucas can get forward, start pumping out the damage, get onto point, it'll look really, really good for Swift. But I think in order to do that, their soldiers need to get some really good bombs in. Because ultimately, that's how the timing works. The demos arrive, they get some spam, the soldiers start to jump, and then the demos can start moving forward. You can't really jump forward. You can't really walk forward as demo until your soldiers start trying to, move forward, because like it's so easy to get caught out by scouts if you fall to the ground or whatever.
Yeah, so Also on this map, there's this giant jump. There's these really tall windows on middle, and you can do like a giant double jump with that on soldier. And what I've actually seen a bunch of demos do, I think like especially Elecor, he would just like lob stickies up there. He would get like one sticky towards the enemy demo, and then he would just like start sticking off that those big windows where he knows the soldier's gonna like wall jump off of, and just get some really easy kills. Like sort of just jump up there and just get completely blown into the skybox and crater. It's pretty good fun. But definitely look out for some big, high solly bombs. There's a mid that just has those, and there's almost nothing you can do about it. There's like that one thing that I just mentioned. But really, like if a soldier wants to be in the skybox, he's gonna get up there somehow. All right, there's like some really tall walls that you can jump off of them very easily. And there's even some really nice crates for soldiers to land on. You can make it in behind lines pretty easily as well. Some nice roofs for you to stand on. So there's a lot of stuff for soldiers to do, and it's going to be really important for demo man and scout to just shut that down as best as they can.
I think we're about to be going live. We'll do some last minute predictions here. I'm going to say, screw it. I'm on the Feint hype train. They're going to win it. They're going to take it off the champs. What are you thinking, Beta, as we go into this first mid?
I think Se7en is mad. I think they're mad now, so they're just going to completely crush. And when I say completely crush, I think it's still going to be pretty slow. I think it's going to be like a 2-3 victory for Se7en. I think they have it in them to make a comeback here and show that was a fluke.
Yeah, well, here we go. We're going to find out. We do see Kato slaying towards this floor. Lucas, much higher positioning towards point, just sticking towards this doorway. Deep soldier bombs from Se7en. They're going to force Lucas all the way out. So much damage, but not securing the frag. The rest of Feint not really able to move up, and actually Seeds completely disconnected. Starkey, though, uncharacteristic, not quite hitting the shots, and he's going to get taken down along with his buddy Kato. So this is going to be hard now for Se7en. Yeah, no real way of recontesting. Now Se7en is gone down as well. Going to be this 3 remaining players moving all the way towards last, and actually Gink, he's speedy jumping all the way into lobby now. He might actually be, for a second I thought he was going to be able to go straight to last and get onto Raymond, but didn't quite make the decision. But good mid for Feint. It's a really good start to the game where you can take control of things and start playing from the enemy's second, but numbers are going to be equal, so first stalemate of the game.
Yep, that didn't take long. But that was it was a really good start to the mid for Se7en. They did a great job of actually zoning out everyone from Feint, and like Feint, they looked really disjointed. But then, just the Se7en player, they saw some openings, and then they went in, and they kind of ended up just going single file in and losing a bunch of 1v1s in small fights. And then all of a sudden, they lost 3 players going aggressively, while the rest of them had just sat back. And then everyone from Feint would just heal up and go back out there. Poppy's going to try to make his way in, but he gets taken down. Let's see if anyone else will try to make their way out there. Starkey has gone engineer. Oh my god. Katus hits a really nice pipe there. That's going to leave...
Se7en is in a good position. Jumps up towards point, but seems like nowhere to be seen. He gets Lucas for his troubles though, so that makes things a little bit easier for Se7en if they want to start moving towards these doorways. Oh, and actually Gink has to jump away. He knew the beam wasn't connected to him. Captain is going to go in. He hits his rocket towards Pappy, but no force on Siege. They're playing on this low ground position. They have to start moving up on the side of Feint. And it does look like they managed to take this high ground. Actually, everyone's in each other's lobby right now. There's a random little 1v1
happening. They just all ran
happening.
through a sticky trap and didn't get deaded on.
What?
And Gink, yeah, Katus wasn't watching it. Gink jumps in. I think he got like a denier shot and just craters. But like, I swear to God, man, everyone just walked through a sticky trap of Katus on that far right side. Like, it was really obvious. He was just like in the doorway, and everyone just walked over it, including the medic.
Then no respect, you know, no respect. We don't get like sticky traps. We know you ain't looking. It's all good. And after all this, we're in a situation once again. Thalash picking up the sniper rifle. Gink on the other side, going to be trying to see what he can do. There's some decent positions on Metalworks, far left and far right. If you can start trying to get an angle, especially if Se7en look like they want to try and get a little bit aggressive towards lobby. They don't want to give too much space here, and they want to give Thalash a few more opportunities to work with, because in terms of just sniping from last, there's not a lot you can work with in terms of aggressive peaks unless you can take that lobby position.
Yeah, it's just all shutter doors, and that doesn't work too well. I think they might have just spotted Gink here. That's really important. That means that your medic can actually position himself in a way that means that he cannot get sniped. Like currently where Se7en is standing on top of that roof, that's actually a pretty easy spot to get sniped. You often get like shot in the feet or whatever, and then the soldier just waiting down there to spam you to death. So he's going to have to be very careful. Like one of the good things about having a sniper, like you can put him in lobby, and then he can overlook that small little roof. And that means that it's a lot more difficult for anyone to hold the right side, and that means you can send in a soldier there and get onto the medic. Like you can kind of see right now that that would actually be a possibility for them. And if you just time it right, you can actually make it in there. But so far, no luck. We have seen some soldiers try to peek in there, but Se7en, they've been very good at just being on top of it, making sure that nobody makes their way in.
There's a lot Feint can do in terms of this shutter as well. The way that the shutter opens, you can actually peek pretty deep, but body shots can be rattling off. Flash takes down his sniper counterpart on Feint, so nice and easy. Oh, this deep bomb gets a good deny, but once again, Se7en, he's the king of forces this series. He seems to just get whatever he wants, and somehow Cadis gets caught towards lobby. I have no idea how Pappy managed to find him, but that's super, super crucial. So the push out from Se7en, not looking good at all. We do actually have Falash back on scout, but this is a really good opportunity for Feint to start trying to move forward, get some damage, and possibly even force Raymond here. Doesn't look like they can really get through these doorways, so Gink gets taken down by the sentry, and the rest of Feint have no choice but to get out to second now. But I mean, they have delayed things by about 50%. They're building up their own Uber, and Se7en got to be a little bit aware that they can't just kind of wait forever. We do see two of these Feint players fighting towards lobby, takes down Stuff immediately. Oh, some good damage, but it gets cleaned up as well. There's no force by the side of Se7en yet, and for the time being, it does look like Feint are going to be happy just to lose control a second, but at least equalize their Ubers. Their spawns are going to be coming up in just a second, so worst case scenario, this will be a trade towards second. Ooh.
The last will find it. Lucas, I'm pretty sure that was a blind dead. I don't see what his sight line would have been. So I think he just saw that the cap, the point got capped, and then he just timed it and hoped that the scout would run forward, and that is indeed the case. So a little lucky and some good planning to boot. Soda's going to jump in very aggressively, so he's just made his way behind. He didn't find the medic, which he was probably looking for, but he's just going to get taken down by Falas, who was coming in from spawn. So Gink actually manages to make his way in, but unfortunately not able to get onto the mech. And now Se7en, they're going to try and be aggressive here on this, what do you even call this this whole, like...
alley. It's got to be alley. You got the lower bit, you got alley, you got this, that, you got Se7en jumping in, getting mulched by Classy, so, you know, it's all good stuff. It's all par for the course for the minute. You do have some deep, deep soldier bombs you could do from this alley position, and it looks like Pappy's feeling an opportunity here. He's got Seeds with him to get a big, big old buff. Raymond's playing towards this doorway. So, I mean, he can back up a little bit, but what you can actually do is focus some different players here. So the bomb goes in, nice and deep. Raymond's all the way gone. Decent damage towards Cadis, but no real spam being hit. Oh, these stickies actually nearly took down Cadis. Oh, but the pipe from Lucas.
Raymond.
It's so good, and they get the force as well. Perfectly timed from Lucas and Gink. They do manage to lose Classy though, so they've got to be a little bit aware of how this combo is operating.
Oh, they're
actually
just
get a full commit here. Yeah, they don't care. They're moving all the way towards second, getting this free frag towards captain. They're going to start this cap as Se7en. Back capping all the way towards mid. Se7en's denying things pretty well. This is going to be super, super close, but Se7en's actually just capped mid from completely underneath them. And forward they go, straight to second. These spawners from Feint can't really do anything. There's Ubers nowhere really to be seen. This is kind of just chaos, really. Se7en might be able to go all the way to last here.
Yeah, and Uber man is not worth a whole lot. Okay, finally they have managed to catch out Se7en. And there we go. Lucas going to jump in here. They have this Uber to fall back on as well.
Falash is fighting on last. He's taking this 1v1 and he's won it. Takes down Gink nice and easy. Solo capping all that Se7en needs. Securing this first round now. Finally, they managed to score a round in this series. And what a weird way to do it.
Yeah, that was just a really like weird series of event there with the Feint just deciding to wrap around on the flank area, and then Se7en just fully coming in and going, no, we can cap middle faster. And I don't actually know what the cap times are, but Se7en clearly do, because they managed to cap it out just in time, just fine. And now we're going to be left with a 1-0 lead here for Se7en. It kind of feels like they stole that round.
Definitely, we do see going into this mid, Feint players playing so much towards this valley position. A couple players get traded, only soldier for soldier, doesn't matter too much, but Se7en is in a pretty good position to try and deny these little choke points. Classy going down as well, and Thomas as well going super weak, yeah. Stark team be picking up that, and there's only 3 players left on this Feint side. They're not safe at all. These stickies are just raining out Cadis, dealing so much damage. 1, 2, and the third gets taken by Se7en, but pure mulch on this mid. Absolutely nowhere for Feint to go, and Se7en, they're looking like they want to get a second round on the board. I think you're right, BT. You know, they're activated. They're mad.
Yeah, unfortunately they haven't captured second point just yet, so they're going to have to take a deep breather, and maybe the rain's going to go out of them for a while here before this Uber comes in. But Cadis is just going to jump in. There's no sneakers on the point for Feint right now. They're just going to have to use soldiers and bodies to just jump onto the point, and that's not going to be enough. It's going to be a very quick cap coming out of from Se7en, extremely clean. That just all came out of that middle where they managed to get both soldiers behind, actually. Like, Captain was kind of... he kind of got caught out by a soldier, but, you know, because it was a soldier fight, they just traded, and then Se7en actually did get in behind, and then that spam just completely destroyed the middle for Feint, and then the chase was on from Se7en. They managed to just catch everyone really well, and they just clean up really efficiently there. And a very good push, 2-0 for Se7en.
Oh my god, Lucas just gets nuked. Okay, this might just spell the entire end of the Feint mid. Looks like a comment maybe the air shot on the happy get out. Ooh. He's gone. He's gone. What a mid. Okay, alright. So in this game. I didn't even see. Was that Captain again?
Maybe, yeah, like that would be a Captain kind of thing, just to string them together. But yeah, Se7en there is making the way all the way in here. Se7en is still alive, and he does have quite a lot of bodyguards with him right now. So I think they're kind of good, but Lucas actually gonna get taken down here. Both soldiers going in super aggressively on them, so Se7en, they just maintain this pressure super well right now. And you can see they don't want to get let up. They want to keep just going in here. And it looks like they're finally going to take a lot of damage, but they actually do manage to get their soldier out alive. Never mind, he just dies barely there before getting the revenge kill. But yeah, that was a very aggressive play from Se7en, and it almost worked out for them.
It was looking pretty good, but I mean, with only it is actually equal players now. This damage being dealt, yeah, Se7en are going to feel completely confident keeping hold of the second point. They've got their Uber. They can go for a trade regardless of what happens. Nice and easy for them to keep control here. And Feint knows. You know, Feint 100% there where they backed up the last. They know they've just got to start playing a little bit chill. They do have Gun, and Thomas is going to be sniping now, so it will be a nice little position for them to peek and prod. But I mean, 2 rounds down, they've got to start trying to find something which really works, and they've got obviously this Stark sniper to deal with as well.
It's going to be another sniper duel. I haven't seen too much sniper here. Like, you can definitely open up the shutter door and get a pretty clean look into the main area. And then, of course, you can also go the other way. Stark is actually going to be the one to get the first pick here. So he does manage to get the soldier. That's a really nice shot there from him. He's going to edge his way in. There's some stickies up on the high ground there. And he will see them and barely manage to get out alive there. Lucas almost ending his life. So, might not be able to get too much out of it here. But yeah, it's so easy to pick off a soldier, I feel, as a sniper, because there's so many sightlines where, like, if a soldier wants to cover up a flank, like on this house, he is in danger of being picked off. It's like, look at Gink, he's just barely out of the angle.
It's so difficult, like, you know, any damage which gets dealt to him, if he gets dropped down, like, he's just going to get body shot. It's so hard, but at the same time, from Se7en's point of view, I mean, how do you get a shot towards Seeds here, right? Like, the play has to be to get some kind of player advantage, maybe jump someone deep, or, like, you know, get a couple picks and start trying to walk in and spam this gun, because with Seeds playing behind this wall, like, he's absolutely secure from, like, any kind of sniper, any kind of, like, deep bomb, even. It's so hard to get onto. But then, I guess, you know, looking on the other hand, looking on the third hand now, Se7en don't really care. They're 2 rounds up.
That's true. They can definitely afford to slow things down. And I will say, if you ever do manage to get a soldier back here behind where the medic is, like, it's a very easy force because there's just walls everywhere, and like it's even a slope up towards the spawn. So it's once you get the soldier in there, it's an easy force. But of course, getting in there with the soldier is very difficult. And once again, Stark is going to win the sniper duel. And Thomas has gone down, and now Stark, he's just going to waddle his way in here. We've seen him do these hero plays before. And like, there's a lot of spam coming in from all sorts of sides right now for Se7en. And they're trying their absolute best that the Spencer has gone down. Not the biggest pick, but it will mean that it's going to be easier to maybe get the sentry gun. Actually barely manages to save it there coming out from the engineer. And finally, Se7en will actually go down, and that should just like hit the release valve on this pressure here for Feint.
Yeah, now Se7en, they have that player disadvantage now. Classic Se7en, they're just moving outside, playing nice and close on these doorways, making sure anyone who wants to walk in is going to get at least a full team directly in their face, ready to take some kind of trade. Gink, he's going to pick a little bit on the shutter, but no, not a chance in hell does he get through there. Not when Katus is just sticking up every single doorway in sight. So once again, Se7en taking this forward position. Katus getting headshot. That's more significant now. Thomas getting that all-important pick makes things much easier in terms of getting through some of these doorways. It's a little bit harder, especially with Se7en being on a sniper. See where Raymond's position. This might be an opportunity if Pappy can just get a little bit unseen, but Starkey's going to take down Tomas, so the sniper pressure isn't up again, and Se7en, they're walking straight into lobby, taking down Lucas. That's significant again. We even see Thalash, he will thankfully get taken down, but, I mean, Seed is in a precarious little position. Headshot still coming out from Starkey. This is going to be so scary for Seed.
Starkey, he gets the angle. Oh, he gets the medic!
That's so good. He just walks in. Nothing Seed can do about that. Se7en's walking forward. They don't even care about using it at this point. Standing straight on point.
Jesus Christ, Starkey.
Nothing can be done.
He's just hitting everyone. He's on an 8k, by the way, on the sniper. He's just stayed alive the entire time and then just goes on a massive spree. Just absolutely wins for himself. Like, that was just nuts by him. Just single-handedly winning that push. And, like, he even did what we kind of talked about, just taking down a bunch of players until eventually he just had so much space to work with that you could just get in there and get the medic. And, like, Fate, they just crumbled one by one. Just the bullet found their brains, and going to be 3-0 in favor of Se7en.
Yeah, so on this mid now, we do see deep bombs from both the Feint soldiers. It's like they're getting cleaned up pretty well, but I don't know, somehow they managed to take just a little bit of positioning. It's so hard. The second things start looking good for Feint. Se7en walks straight back in now. It's a 1 versus 2 class. He has to hit some absolutely nutty shots. He gets quite a lot of damage towards Thalash, but the beam's going to save him. Won't be for anything. Yeah, it's pretty close, but ultimately it's going to be another mid 1 for Se7en now. They have an uber advantage to play with, even building this up on mid. I mean, they've got more chances here, and every second that ticks across, it's 1 less second that Feint have to get back into this game. 3 rounds down, it's hard. It's hard to try and, you know, get the motivation to come up with some new ideas to make this work for them. And I feel like, yeah, Feint are starting to feel this pressure.
They absolutely do, because it's a pretty difficult map to actually push on. Se7en, they might just, yeah, they're going to Uber in the double scout right now. They're definitely going to get this soldier before he manages to get out. But can they get the demo as well?
Oh
they can.
My god, scout class, that's disgusting. They get to so easily. They almost actually take down Pappy as well. He's so lucky to survive it. And they can actually just go off picks. They can go off damages. Seeds doesn't have his Uber, just about using it in time to keep Pappy alive. It's looking pretty good. They managed to pick up Raven. This is all important, but Se7en is actually behind. He bombs in, doesn't get anything at all, but the repush from Se7en, they're getting straight towards point. They're getting cleaned up so well. Ultimately not hitting their shots. Complete wipe for Se7en. And this can be the start of Feint getting back into this game.
If they could just build this momentum, they could be on the path to victory right now, or at least on the path to a comeback. At least the opportunity to do so. Se7en, I really like that push, but the Seed barely managing to get the Uber in time there. Maybe Se7en thought they had a bit more advantage than they actually had. Seeds is known to be very good at actually building these kind of Ubers. Nice shot there from Ging. Takes down Captain, who was going for some sort of play. Didn't find the medic, went for the soldier instead. Didn't manage to get him. And now Feint, they're going to have an Uber advantage and a man advantage pushing in onto this middle. And I don't see Se7en holding this. They can only hope to slow them down, and that's definitely going to help them with the last on sniper taking down Puppy.
It's going to be pretty significant. You see trades as well, either side. More body shots coming out from Thalash. So that's only 3 players on the side of Feint. Seeds just gets an Uber and just instantly use it. He's not quite with the rest of his team, though. They do manage to take down Stark, but the rest of the Se7en combo all the way towards Valley, basically nowhere to be seen. It's going to be so hard for anyone on Feint to do anything. I mean, unless Lucas feels like just bombing in, but I feel like that's you know, a little bit optimistic. So doesn't look like they will manage to keep control. This stickies from Lucas, though!
Oh, he got it, and now the big bomb in from Poppy. He gets 2 soldiers. Can he get the third? Not quite. That wouldn't make sense either. The second one wasn't a soldier. But soldier behind, gonna run into the medic and a scout. The medic just kept on running into him. He's almost dying there, but they get the cleanup. They will be able to get this mid fight, or this middle capture point for sure. The last is still peeking, like he wants the med pick, and I think he might just pay for it with his life. No, he's gonna dance his way out of there, just bunny hopping his little heart out, and sees he's just hiding behind a container right now. But looks like Feint once again gonna be in a good position here to push. They need to push pretty quickly, and they're not really in a position right now. And they're about to get the Uber, and Raymond, he has 50% on his own. So Feint, they need to work it out really quickly here. They need to move, and they need to do it quickly, and they are just dawdling. They're taking their time. They're just so afraid of this sniper. Here they go.
Yeah, Uber getting used, the same exact thing we saw Se7en just do, but doesn't look like they're going to have anywhere near the same success. Uber completely faded now. They will manage to take down Captain, and they should as well pick up Silences, but actually, oh, Pappy! Oh, he gets absolutely pounded!
Oh no. Yeah, that was
Slenders, dude.
that would have actually been really helpful to have Classy alive right now, because that would have meant that you could actually go in and put on a ton of pressure and maybe force out Raymond and make him use his Uber in a really poor manner. But as it is right now, Feint are just not in a position to really go in there and do a whole lot. So now they just need to keep their medic safe while trying to get the super horse out. It looks like Se7en are actually going to go into bottom. That's very interesting. That's some interesting positioning I wouldn't even think about.
No, it looks like they were just kind of peeking and prodding. Then Kata's managed to take a load of damage, so they have to kind of back up a little bit. Like, in all this, it doesn't really matter what's happening with Se7en, because Caesar's got his Uber. Players are being traded back and forth right now. It is a nice, equal little situation. Se7en isn't fully set up, so if there's a time for Feint to do something, it would be now. There's no gun, just only a heavy spawning now, so that golden little window has just a little bit passed for Feint. They're playing towards this right-hand side, though. Perhaps Pappy can walk in. I mean, it's so hard, you know, there's a 450 heavy there, there's everyone around Raymond, and you've got to go so deep, so it does look like we are going to be back on a little bit of a stalemate for the moment. Both teams just sitting there complacent with their Uber for just a second, and we've got 10 minutes left in this game.
Every time the clock ticks down 1 second, it's going to be less likely for Feint to win. They're still down 3-0 in this even Ubers right now, so they need to not only force Raymond or kill him, they need to do it quickly. They might just go for an exchange. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They do not want to waste any time.
No, they don't at all. They use straight in. They get good damage towards Cadus, but the flash from Raymond is there, so everything's fine here. Neither team losing a single player in this trade. We still have a gun and heavier for the side of Se7en, so if they want to walk back in, they have a lot they got to contend with. Lucas does look like he wants to take some space towards this doorway. He actually nearly walked into some stickies there, but it's going to be the soldiers who start to try and take this initial bit of position towards this right-hand side, but there's so many players I have to deal with. Captain gets so much damage towards Lucas. This first player does go down second as well. Guns just absolutely annihilating some of these Feint players who just slightly overextend. And their combo knows they have no choice. They've got to back out here. They have a really, really dodgy hold on second as is. And Se7en's aware of it. This nice little skip from Captain basically busts through this doorway really nice and easily. The stickies from Lucas are looking good here, but yeah, they do manage between Lucas and Pappy to keep control here. That's not an easy thing to do at all. They might even be looking just to go off momentum again. There's still 2 players down. 10 seconds left on either of these players. Once again, they're going to start moving through his main shutter door. Both teams have Uber once again. This time, Cadus gets dropped. So it's a much better Uber for Raymond, but they are missing a demo. And Se7en as well goes down on the flank. This is going to be so hard for Se7en to hold. And Lucas is aware of it. He's walking forward. He's got his heals. There's so many players close. There's a scout already on point, dragging these players back. Tomas loses his life, but there's only 3 up for the side of Se7en. It's all on Thalash now. Can he manage to get forward? He gets taken down. Raymond all by himself. And Feint finally get themselves into this game. They get their first round.
Pressure, just non-stop aggression after they did that initial Uber exchange, and it was actually a really good exchange because they managed to pick off Cadus before the Ubers got popped, and then they also managed to get Se7en on the way out, and that was just enough of a man advantage that they were just able to just push in there really well. So now there's 8 minutes remaining. They need to catch up with 2 points. That's completely doable. Very doable.
Yeah, 100%, especially if they start making things work like that. They kind of work things out a little bit, and heading down Cadus on this mid is the beginning of another good mid for Swift. Se7en as well, they've got to be super scared of these deep bombing soldiers, but does look like the initial threat has died now. They just need to focus one by one these remaining players. Gink is on the back lines, but he's going to get taken down as well, so the soldiers for Feint managed to take a good amount of position to force all of these 7 players back. And now it's going to be Feint moving forward on the second.
Line, by the way. He's going to take this fight with the scout. If he can just block this midpoint, oh, he can't. Okay, he's just not going to go for it.
Oh, I mean, the respect that Feint gave, they did actually bring all their heals back. They're a little bit scared. Lucas actually, was that a blind hit again towards Thalash?
Does Thalash just have some sort of like tripwire on him?
I think he must, you know. I think he must. Lucas has his number, so there's actually no scouts with the 7 combo at all, and Feint are looking to make something happen off this, moving all the way towards Valley. Good damage is being dealt to Cadus. He just has to kind of beam up. It does look like Lucas just wants to keep charging forward and forward and forward. The soldiers jump in. Cadus gets launched super far forward. Saki's gone down, and all this Captain so weak along with Se7en. They should both die here, and they do. Oh, this is looking so good for Feint. The momentum push is just absolutely destroying going forward. There's now 12 seconds left, where there's so many players left on 7 not there. Raymond and Thalos, they've got to trade this Uber. There's already players moving towards point. Seeds is so happy just to play around his Uber, just do whatever he wants. He even manages to flash his scout there. They're just playing towards point. This is looking so good. They have to surely cap it, right? They have to. There's only 2 players left on 7. Captain can't do this by himself. There's no way. A second round in almost as many minutes. They're bringing this back, Peter.
It's really insane. I thought it was just completely impossible for them because 7 was just looking so strong. And if any team is able to slow down a game, it's 7. But somehow, Feint, they've just managed to find this like niche where they can just go in very aggressively where they just win these fights and just kind of do like a big team push where they do a ton of pressure and just bleed out the 7 players and they just work off of that. So that somehow has just brought them back on the brink of it being even.
Oh my god, Lucas has Thalash's number once again, taking him down super early. These soldiers for 7 not really able to get anything on these mids, and the aggression once again from Gink. This time though, he picks up Starkey. It's only Cadus and Raymond. And they're all the way towards last. They will be getting their Uber, so it won't be any crazy advantage push, but I mean, they've really worked out these mids. Feint just absolutely have things numbered, and there's still some players missing on the side of 7. This is a chance. Once again, Soldier jumping nice and deep, gets his first rocket towards Raymond, actually gets the fourth before the second Soldier even goes in, so... I mean, they throw in Gink and Pappy, but they get the force. It's all they really need. Can they keep control of this second and play with this big old advantage?
The energy of this match has just completely changed. It just feels like Feint are just in complete control. They just know exactly what they're doing. Every time they try to do something, it just works out. And it's just really curious how that is, because it just seemed like that was the exact case for 7 in the first half of this map. And then the last 15 minutes of this, it's just going to be all Feint, it seems. And now they're going to have this big Uber advantage, and they're going to use it in now.
Yeah, they're going to be using it towards this left-hand side. Scout immediately getting on the point, recognizing where there are stickies and where there aren't, but they're getting pretty mulched towards this doorway. Frag's going pretty well either way, but Thalos is still so healthy on the heavy. Let's get taken down by Classy, though. Classy can actually get a lot done behind point. He takes down... Oh, he gets a lot of damage, but this bomb from Lucas doesn't quite hit it. Scary times there for 7, but they're going to keep control of this last and keep themselves with a round advantage. Uber still up on Raymond as they push forward, possibly straight to mid.
That was a really important hold there from 7. They did a really good job of just... they kept their heavy really healthy, and then they also just managed to keep Raymond alive. He went down to like 30 HP, so if he would have died there, that would have changed completely everything. And looked like Classy is actually just hidden. He's going to get the force out on the medic. Just hiding in a corner. That was enough to get it. And the rest of Feint, they're just out of there with the exception of 1 soldier, but I think he's going to make it.
It looks like, yeah, Gink is the Solly who could. He gets all the way out. So, potential opportunity for Feint to go for, at minimum, a bit of a leapfrog here to take control of mid. It's possible, I mean, where Raymond's position is looking pretty good to maybe go for a catch. Somehow, Lucas is just picking up scouts with, like, every single sticky trap of his. I don't know, like, is he just looking through walls? He jumps in deep as well. Doesn't really get the damage and doesn't really force anyone really into the fight. He just forces players out. Oh my god, he does. This sticky's looking so good. It's just a bit of a crumble from 7. How are they so far forward? And Raymond's actually getting stuck towards this doorway. Oh my god, he'll just about get out. 80%. It's so scary for 7. They have to focus on getting this Uber. Feint, once again, can just momentum push forward.
Yeah, if they can just get in here and actually just make them use the Uber in a poor way, that's all they want right now. Because they're not going to cap because of it. But the soldier has made his way onto Raymond. Raymond just dodges everything. He's taking zero damage. Finally, he has to pop. Oh my god.
Oh, he does use it. No, there's a scout. He's just walking straight to last. They didn't see Classy until the soldier gets in. Oh my god. Salentis just about catches it. 7 had no idea. That was so close.
And then Thomas just didn't see the captain coming in there from the side at all. Like, completely didn't press tab and realize he was going to be there. And now 7 once again averting disaster. It really feels like they've just been teetering on the very edge here. Like, even the smallest thing could have just been different and they would have been 3-3. But as it is right now, they're going to be ahead 1 round. This Uber's going to come out and set up there. Just
Lucas again! His stickies are just absolutely on point this game. Takes down Raymond. 2 swift little stickies there. And this is looking good. 1 minute 20 left in the game. If they want to equalize this and go into our next golden cap, I mean, this is everything they could possibly ask for. Once again, they're going to have uber advantage. They will be losing Lucas now. I mean, surely from the point of view of Fate, they need to relax. They need to get their players. They can't do this without Lucas. They just need to build up their uber advantage. 30% is enough for them to push with, but they have to be pretty perfect here.
Indeed. The good thing about this map is that you can get pretty close without using. Like, you can just open the door and you're in, right? And, you know, you can do a double sticky jump in, as Lucas likes to do. And you can go in really far. It's pretty easy to put a scout on the point. Like, you can go in there very quickly. They're going to dot push. All right. All going to come down to this easily.
Yeah, they're trying to walk in this time. No jump. They're going to start pushing forward. Scout's going to start trying to move towards the point, but these soldiers from Se7en doing great work keeping some of these players from Fate out. The damage is looking pretty good on a lot of these Se7en players. Actually, both Scouts getting straight on the point, and they're just going to cap it under Se7en's nose.
That was really crucial. It looked like Se7en were about to turn it around, and then at the last second, they just put both scouts onto the point with the medic, and they managed to cap it out before anyone could make it onto it. And somehow they managed to just reverse this sweep that was in the process of happening. Se7en, they were up 3-0, and somehow Fate, they managed to just completely turn that all momentum around and make their way back, making it 3-3, and now arguably they carry the momentum going into this golden cap, and they've already won a golden cap against Se7en. And either way, they will have tied this match against Se7en, no matter what happens now. But if they get this next point, they will have actually won against Se7en. They can make it 4 points to 2 instead of 3-3, and like that would definitely be a big statement that they're here, you know.
Definitely, 100%. You know, I think, you know, there's a lot of diehard Fate fans, and you always go into games, you know, like this where there's an underdog, but not a huge underdog. You know, I think a lot of people were hoping Fate could really show up, and they absolutely are. Like, the mental fortitude of going, you know, 20 minutes in, you are 3 rounds down, and they managed to bring it back before the end of the game. Like, that's absolutely crazy, you know? Like, exactly like you said, they're going to have the momentum here. They've won the last 3 rounds in a row, and they seem to really have these mids sorted out. But at the same time, there is going to be this, you know, 3 or 4 minute break now. They're going to, you know, take a second, get a drink of water, whatever, you know, stand up for a second. This is almost Se7en's opportunity to kind of go for a bit of a reset, you know, for them to say to themselves, what was going so wrong on mids? How can we fix this? You know, like, this is the moment where both teams can kind of rethink their plan of attack. And I don't know if it's going to be as easy for Fate to just continue dominating these mids in the same way.
The mids have definitely been pretty sketchy for Fate. It seems like there's always these soldiers that are always behind lines or just coming in at the most inopportune times for them and just bombing the crap out of them. So they're going to need to just somehow combat that. I don't know if they're just going to go forward really aggressively and just leave the soldiers in the dust behind them. That seems like a very dangerous thing. Like, you don't want to leave Captain and Se7en's back, right? That was... so this is our map 2. Map 1 already went to Fate. So, like, Se7en... Like, it's got to be in the back of their minds, you know? But,
definitely. Like,
actually, so far, another really important thing to note is that Cadis has been caught out a bunch of times where he overextends and where he just kind of acts like the tip of the spear. But then everyone else just retreats and he just gets caught in these hallways. And once you get caught in there, it's very difficult to get out because you just put like a sticky or a rocket near the door and you just get bounced back in.
Exactly. This isn't the kind of, you know, map where if you get caught, like on process, if you get caught by his demo, there's a decent chance you can surf and at least get to some, you know, different kind of position, something to sometimes give you a bit of an out. But on this map, when the whole map is like doorways and, you know, other than alley, it's kind of fairly low roofs in most of these transition areas, it's really hard to go for some cheeky little escapes. And I feel like it's definitely something which, I mean, both demos need to be aware of, but it does seem like it is hurting Cadis just a little bit more. So, I mean, I'm not sure. Definitely doesn't look like Se7en's kind of, you know, calm, collected playstyle. But I mean, maybe the map's factoring into it. You know, maybe the psychological aspect of, you know, losing map 1 against a team which maybe from their point of view they were thinking, you know, we should have this in the bag. You know, I'm sure they're giving respect to their opponents, but when you go into a game being the favorite and you're favoring yourself, you know, when you then suddenly find yourself in a disadvantageous position, you start to be like, guys, what's going on here? You know, this is our game to win here.
one gotta one gotta question it. But I think Seven are best off just kind of resting on themselves, just knowing that they can do this, and just taking it easy, right? I think their mids have been pretty good, and like Stark has been having an absolute amazing game so far, and like if they can just get him in behind and be able to do some plays, maybe just put him on sniper again, right? He just crushed everything
He
on
did,
that.
just hit the shots, hit him.
Just click him low. How hard can it be? Like, come on, man. Like, don't
Easy game,
overcomplicate things. Just put him on sniper and just click him.
Honestly, you never know if like maybe Seven's got some like strats up their sleeve, some kind of like sniper to mid. Like there's a certain amount of angles you can get from Valley, and if you're gonna kite there a lot with your combo anyway, maybe it's kind of worth it. But obviously, you can't take the space in the same way. I don't know. I'm sure they've got some kind of ideas here. I don't know if we're gonna see anything too spicy, but I mean, I would like to see it. I think from Feint's point of view, like exactly what they're doing. Like you said, it's not the cleanest mids, but they're winning the majority, whether it be by scrappy fights or not. They are managing to do that, and I feel like that's a lot of it is from Lucas taking that position early and these deep soldier bombs from Seven not quite hitting these last little bits of damage onto seeds. The amount of times where I've seen like Celentis or Captain land on seeds and he's got out at about 10, 15 HP, I think it's been like, well, basically the last 3 mids in a row, right? And when those soldiers are going down and they're having to go so deep for seeds and then like they can't even trade frags, it's then so hard for Seven to continue like fighting forward. And I feel like I feel like we got to give a lot of credit to Seeds. I feel like Seeds is playing really well this game.
He's been playing really well. If we can just look at some logs while they're refreshing the map, right, you can actually see that he's on 4 deaths and Raymond is on 7. So 4 deaths in a map is very little, especially in a 3-3. So
yeah,
like
I mean,
he dies a little
like,
more than once per lost round. What?
yeah, like, exactly. Like, yeah, when you lose 3 rounds, like, and you've only died 4 times total, that's kind of crazy. Like, as a result, we are seeing a couple more Ubers on the side of Feint. Like, I think Seeds' positioning is really on it. They seem to really kind of know what they want to do with him. And it's kind of showing in how they're moving around the map. And especially, like I said, it comes down a lot on these mids. In terms of some of these other players, obviously Dalash and Stark, they're getting some absolute crazy number of frags. They've both been doing really well on both Scout and Sniper, but the rest of Seven, they seem to be having a lot more difficulty here. The damage, the bulk of the damage is being dealt by a couple of the Feint players, even though the rest of Seven seem to be like fairly equal. It just doesn't feel like we've been in that same amount of situations. Like, the amount of times where Lucas has managed to get the first pick on, they're defending, Seven's pushing forward, and Lucas gets the first pick with a sticky trap. Like, that's happening pretty consistently, whereas we're not seeing that on the side of Seven. Usually it's a case of, they're not really able to get that first pick, and it just makes these defenses so much more difficult.
Yeah, but it really has been a story of 2 halves, really. And I also just want to point out in the team stats how even it is. All right, just get ready for this. In kills, it's 79 to 78. In damage, it's 32,089 to 32,885. Charges 11 to 9, drops 1 to 1, caps 15 to 15, mid fights 3 to 3. It's so even, and it's mostly been like split into 2 halves of the map. So, like, I don't
It's
even know what to
crazy.
do. I mean, I guess Feint has the momentum going into this, but now there was a bit of a break here. Seven, they're pretty shrewd with this. Like, if the Lassus keyboard always breaks when they can need to break the most. So
It
they're,
is
they're
what it
taking their
is,
time.
Yeah, it does look like they go for their little reset of the server. They go for their little mental reset. I do believe we're gonna be readying up in just a couple seconds. I think we've almost got all the players back in the server again. So all right, about to be starting this golden cap beta. Do you think this is going to be Feint continuing with their momentum and winning the game outright versus Seven, or do you think this is going to be Seven's time to bring it back?
Like logically, it should definitely be Feint, but I have this feeling that 7 is going to win. So I'm just going to go with the. I think I'm just going to go with what I feel, because sometimes, I don't know, your heart is stronger than your brain. It just knows things you can't figure out yourself.
Fair enough. Okay, I would say we're going into this golden cap, but they actually are RRing. So unlucky boys gives me just time to make my prediction. I mean, I predicted Feint at the start of the game. I'm going to predict them again. Why not? Why not? It's going to come down to this mid, and I think honestly, it's the exact same as last game. We're going to spend 30 minutes in a really back and forth game. Then it's going to come down to one mid fight, one like 90-second round, and it's going to be all that she wrote. But looks like we're readying up for real now. So this is it. The final bit of TF2 we're going to be giving to you for the night. This is Se7en versus Feint on Metalworks, week 5 of season 33 of the E2F2L. So rolling out to mid here, we see Cadis and Lucas seem to be pretty similarly timed here, both playing towards this top little area, getting just a couple stickies down. No real significant damage though.
Lucas is so
Se7en
weak.
Oh, he is actually. He does get forced super far back, but Cadis is actually the first frag of the mid. The rest of Se7en have managed to take control of a lot of the height here. Actually, somehow Ging picks up Thalash as well. So this is looking pretty good. Raymond even dies here. The crumble of Se7en. This is absolutely crazy that somehow Feint, once again on this mid-fight, managed to take it. They completely wipe all of Se7en. Uber advantage, player advantage. It didn't even seem like there was anything too crazy there. They just got one pick after another after another. Oh,
Yeah, it's
this
so
is gonna be
weird.
scary.
Because Se7en, they always seem like they have the superior positioning going into this. Like every time. It just seems like it's way better for them, you know? And then they just lose a bunch of players and Feint are just able to collect themselves and then just go back in here. So now they're going to have this full Uber advantage to work with. And Se7en, they didn't even have time to put up a sentry gun because Feint just went forward and spammed it down. So now they have this chance to just end it and beat out Se7en in this 2-map series.
Yep, looks like they're going to start waddling in towards this little bridge area. Se7en's actually denying a lot of this. Oh my god, he actually managed to get stopped. How was he get down too? Steves and Thomas absolutely destroyed in this doorway. I mean, they lose both the soldiers on Se7en there, but I mean, it doesn't really mean anything at all. As Se7en get almost a perfect hold there. Thalash even picking up Gink there. That's crazy.
The most well-earned skadoosh I've seen in chat for quite a while. That was just a crazy denial of an Uber right there for Se7en. It seems like he just wasted the entire Uber just jumping around, and then also, by the way, he just killed two of them. So that was just absolutely naughty. Se7en, they're going to try to push their way out right now. And it looks like they have gotten everyone in through the doorway. Feint, they don't want to relent though. They're going to send in a soldier, but he will make his way out once you have the second one just come flying in right now. Onto Cadis and actually takes him down. But that's a really crucial pick right now. And Raymond gets forced by the scout as well, Classy making his way in. So this is really crucial, just mistakes being made by Se7en and this big plays coming in from Feint.
Oh, the repush from Feint is so good. 2 perfect rockets getting straight onto Raymond's face. Nothing they can do. No capping second, no position taken. They have a massive Uber disadvantage. This is once again everything that Feint needs. Surely Se7en can pull out the bag again. They're not even going to have buffs. Raymond's off for another 4 seconds. This time Lucas jumping in nice and early, gets some stickies towards these players on the left-hand side. Cadis getting nice and weak. He gets taken down as well. Thomas straight on the point. So much cap run. Everything seems to be going the way of Feint. Just a second now they played just a little bit slower. They're going to be walking towards the point. Thalash has to do absolutely everything here all by himself. It's just not going to happen. Feint securing the round and securing this game.
Good game. And that's a statement there from Feint. You know, being the first team to not only wound Se7en, but actually defeat Se7en. They take 4 points from this match. Se7en will take 2. They won in both maps in golden caps. This is looking like it's going to be a much more interesting playoff series than I initially anticipated. Holy hell. I thought it was just a question of who's better, Ascent or Feint, but now it looks like everything's up in the mix, and it just has been the season where everyone's been tying with everyone. And
it's crazy. Yeah, points just been going like everywhere. All the teams, they just been like, I know, it felt like so equal in so many of the games, regardless of what's on paper. The games themselves have been crazy all across Prem. And I think this is like, exactly like you said, going into playoffs in just a couple short weeks, this is going to play on a lot of people's minds. Like Feint, they're looking good. Maybe they can go just the whole way. And obviously, it's not just playoffs. We're talking about I-Series as well, you know?
yeah. All right. So without looking at the golden cap logs, do you think Lucas logs were or damage was above 700 DPM or under 700 DPM?
It's got to be under 700 DPM. I don't see it being above 700 DPM again. Surely, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's not even close. It's like 259.
Okay.
I was just testing your faith.
No. I mean, you know, it was a good golden cap. I don't think it was that good. You know.
Yeah, not really. But that was a cracker of one because Se7en, they really turned it around there, just having the heavy just chew everything up on that last push, and just Silentis going absolutely huge. That really would be quite a turnaround. Like Heartbreaker rounds they're always heartbreaking, but if they happen in a golden cap, you feel extra bad. So, yeah, thank God for Fink that was not the case.
That would have been crazy to
Yeah.
lose a golden cap like that. Like I don't even know. Like Celentes, this whole series, he's just seemed to make like magic happen. I don't really understand like how dude's like hitting some really crucial stuff. Like I said, that between the heavy and like Celentes getting those 2 picks, I thought for sure that was going to be Seven's opportunity to go, but like the pressure from Fate is kind of crazy. You know, it isn't even like committing to like scrappy fights. It's just keeping constant pressure, not allowing Seven to get any more space than they need to, and it's absolutely crazy. But I mean, I guess, you know, if we want to find out some more, we can talk to some of the players themselves. We have a few players from Fate who have come on over to have a bit of a chat with us. So I believe we're just going to drag them on here. We have Classy, Pappy, and Thomas. How's it going, guys? What a game.
Hello, hello. Thank you.
It was definitely from our point of view, like kind of crazy to watch. I mean, I guess we'll go through things a little bit chronologically. Obviously, process incredibly back and forth. We were making some predictions that maybe Seven were going to look a little bit more confident, but obviously it was super back and forth the entire 30 minutes. How kind of what were your guys' impressions going into process? Were you thinking, you know, it was looking pretty good for you, or were you kind of thinking, you know, that was going to be your worst map of the two in the series?
No, I thought Process would go better. I thought we wouldn't win Metalworks. They're like grinding the Foretech demos, so I didn't really know. But Process is pretty good for us. I think they banned it against us at LAN as well, so... Or did you do bans in the groups? I don't remember, but we're pretty good at Process because Lucas does loads of damage.
I think we had at least a couple big highlight clips there. It was some pretty good Nukas clips. I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like process was what it was. The biggest thing for me is like Metalworks. You guys going 3 rounds down with about 10 minutes left to go, like we saw such a change in momentum. You guys started winning mid fights into, you know, like everything you started trying to do, or just almost everything, just like it was like a switch was flicked and it just started working for you. Did it come down to some kind of reset? Did you guys, you know, go for like a bit of a different strategy in terms of some of your pushes or some of your mid fights, or was it just a case of what you were trying to do worked better in the second half than the first on Metalworks?
Yeah. They put the Kunu tick binder in, and Classy just went Super Saiyan. But you can't lose to the Kunu tick.
Yeah, and I think we all kind of realized pretty early that we kind of lost to some pretty like silly stuff, like when they did like the foreman back cap and all that. It was just like that back cap, we kind of just lost it because we didn't really know we've not used it, like the cap times on the map, etc. It was kind of some wonky like stuff that was just because of like, I guess, less map knowledge, which kind of lost us like holds and stuff.
Yeah, we actually had a pretty bad week of scrims on Metalworks because of availability and stuff. So Lucas played the map once before playing it tonight. So I'm kind of surprised we did so well, if I'm honest.
It seemed pretty incredible, just like the pressure that you guys managed to keep up. Like, you know, like I said, the first half kind of things were what they were. Definitely seemed like Seven had the upper hand, but it felt like you kind of, worked things out much better. You were constantly pressuring Seven, and they just kind of a bit fell to pieces. We've seen Ascent just a few days ago. They kind of play very pressure heavy, you know, trying to kind of deny every single inch of space and kind of, you know, peek forward whenever they can. Is that kind of one of the key philosophies of your team, you know, not give anyone an inch further than they have to?
You want to take that to class?
Yeah, go on then. I will. I mean, I feel like every team should be looking to deny all the space they could, because if you don't, you're wasting opportunities. And we just seem to be really good at sort of denying the space and also being far enough back that we're never caught in the situations where they do use and deny us and stuff.
Definitely seemed like we saw some really good stuff from Seeds. He just seemed to be almost perfectly positioned.
Seeds is a beast.
Seeds is an actual beast. Beta, what questions you got for our boys here on Feint?
I want to know. So I thought it was pretty shocking that you guys actually won, because I just figured Seven was the best team in this league by like a mile. But then now I'm questioning myself. So how close is it actually between you, Seven, and Ascent? Like, and how do you see yourself compared to this team?
I think we've had better results against Ascent than Seven. It's too soon to predict, but I think we would be pretty confident in like ranking ourselves above Ascent and maybe like tied with Se7en for like first.
I don't know. Ascent are pretty good, honestly. Some days they just catch you out with crazy stuff. Like Ams and Zebo are just kind of like running at you every second. So I feel like I wouldn't say we should put ourselves above Ascent days. I still think they're pretty good. Well, that's my opinion, though. I don't really know how we match up against Se7en. I mean, this is like one win and doesn't really mean anything because Cadis is just going to grind the demos, and the next time we play, they'll 5-0 us. So
I don't know. I'm looking
We
at
have
the
to,
ETF2L standings. I'd say it means a little bit.
well, yeah, maybe it means a bit, but by the time playoffs come around, they just grind the demos and probably like counter-shot us. So we have to, once they counter-shot us, counter-shot them again, if that makes sense.
All right, and then I guess I just want to hear your guys' opinion on Metalworks. Like, how do you like the map?
Brilliant map. Fantastic. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong.
I think it's actually really good. I can't believe we never played it before. For like the lower tier maps, it's so much better than the other ones, in my opinion at least. I don't want to like flame any specific maps, but I think it's better than at least like 3 maps in the pool right now, and it should have a permanent place.
I agree.
It has
Alright.
pretty good flow, if I'm honest.
Pretty resounding then.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a positive one. Take one. Like that's good job, ETF2L admins. You did it. You added something, a map that people like.
The only time ETF2L admins are going to get praised, right? Savor this, boys. Okay, savor this. First time in like what, 7 years. Enjoy it, right? I think unless you've got any more questions, Beta, we might wrap things up for the night and let people go on for the rest of the night doing whatever they want to do.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. All right. Let's start doing some shout outs then. We'll start with Classy.
Shouts to my team and Se7en, especially Sil. He kind of owed me and everyone one. Yeah, that's it.
Fair enough. Pappy.
Yeah, shouts to my team, Se7en as well. Shouts to Feint, our sponsorship. We can confirm we're going to I-65 with our full lineup, even though Lucas didn't book a rental. We actually have a nice donation from, I think, 2 British gamers. Yeah, Bumfries and Porky, so thank you very much. Shouts to the casters for casting and production.
Good stuff. Right, you are. Go to Thomas. Anyone you want to give some love to?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to my team, obviously. Feint, Hobin, much love. Matt and Geordie as well. That's about it. Oh, and production. Big shout out to you.
Good stuff, Beta. What about you?
I want to shout out my demo call on ETF2L. I'll put the link in chat. Definitely submit your fat frag to that, because like if you're trusting me to find stuff, you're a fool. So definitely do that, and then otherwise just shout out to Gemm and you, eepily, for being with me tonight. It was great fun, and yeah, congrats Feint for winning.
Yeah, well, good stuff. I'll do final last little shout outs. Obviously, the team 7 Feint, it was a hell of a game. Classy, Pappy, and Thomas for taking their time to come say hi to us and answer a few questions. Obviously, Beta and Gemm for doing stuff with me, and obviously, you know, the guys watching. Obviously, we're going to have some more. Week 6 is going to be starting tomorrow for ETF2L, so we're going to have some more games coming up, most likely Thursday, but I don't think some of them are set in stone yet. So keep an eye on the Team Fortress TV Twitter, and obviously TFTV itself will have some more info coming very, very soon. But for the time being, yeah, GG Feint, and we'll see you guys next time.